Hello and thanks for staying with us. Goods worth millions of naira intercepted by various commands in Nigeria. Also on customs report, the Contract General of Nigerian Customs Service speaks on customs operation with members of the National Assembly in Abuja. Plus, more reports. I am Igeseme Idine. Stay tuned. The management of Nigerian Customs Service has stated that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to generate more revenue for the country. The CG made the comments when he was addressing members of the National Assembly on customs matters in Abuja. So far, the service has generated over 1 trillion naira in 6 months. The figure represents a difference of 290 million compared to 730 million generated in the corresponding year of 2020. The CG speaks more with the National Assembly on the workings of the Nigerian Customs Service.
First and foremost, on the issue of vehicles being accosted, so I must have enlightened that we have three layers of making sure that our laws are enforced. We have at the port the area controllers and their team. We have the FOU, Federal Operation Unit, and also we have the strike force. And because of the discretion and sometimes the indiscretion of our officers, where compromise is being made between the importers and our officers, we have to put other layers to check these things. And that is why you sometimes find out, let me say this, that there are cloned custom documents going about. Agents will connive with our officers. When you pay as an importer, you give him the correct duty, he will calculate the correct amount of the duty you're supposed to pay with all charges. He gives you, and you give him the money. He will go and connive with a custom officer and reduce the distance. And then they clone the paper, and you take the vehicle out. For the FOU chap, as far as is concerned, that paper you presented did not meet the requisite requirement. That happens sometimes to innocent importers. There are also importers who connive directly with the agents and reduce the and then expect that paper, when it's out, that is done. It's not like Bible and Quran, no. It's subject to checking. And if we discover that the value of the car that you are riding is not commensurate with the duty you pay, then you question. And let me also say, the issue of saying you buy a car for 180,000 naira or also euro. Cost duty of car is not only the value of the car you bought the car. There's cost of the vehicle, there's insurance, there's freight. All these are calculated to what you pay as duty. So sometimes we need to ask questions before we begin to fight the system. If they give you an amount, ask the customs officer, what is the composition of this amount? What are the subheads that makes up this total? He will explain to you. It's not only because you bought a car for 130 euro, and therefore you will come and just look at the cost of the car and then no. There's insurance, there's freight. All those are calculated and added to the value based on the cost. So you pay. That's what the law says.
The acting Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, in charge of headquarters, has been speaking about the working of his office in Abuja. He speaks more on the issues.
For example, if you take the air wing unit of the service, we have a number of aircraft, such as helicopters, that we do aerial patrol and gather intelligence around the country. 2, the anti-money laundering unit you find members of that unit or officers of that unit deployed to all international airports and major entry and exit points. The main function of that unit is to monitor, register currencies going in and out, and render such reports on weekly basis to the office of the ACG headquarters. The printing unit, the unit is responsible for printing of all our files, documents, and any other publication of the service, such as files like this. This is equally a product of the printing unit, and with this, the service was able to save a lot of money. Imagine we are giving this thing out as contract to other printing press to print for us, who lose, who have to pay a lot of money. But we are doing this in-house, and it's equally assisting the service. Then the public relations unit. This unit is responsible for managing our information and other public relations issues between the service, the other medias outside. And under that unit, we have Nigerian Customs Broadcasting Network, we have a television station, we have radio station, and they are all digital. You can tune to the radio on the net. You can equally get it on FM. Then the television, you see most of our activities. This one is being coordinated by the PR unit.
The Assistant Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service in charge of training in Abuja have been speaking on the training of officers all over the country. So Nigerian Customs Service will continue to train them so that they'll be able to work according to the law and rules of the government. It speaks further on the number of issues as they affect training and also the college in Abuja.
If I take it from the basics, the college was designated or has been designated as a regional training center for West and Central African region of the World Customs Organization. So when it was commissioned in 2011, the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, Kunio Mukuria, when he was actually impressed with the structures that he saw, he requested then that this should serve as a regional training center at the college. And the request was granted immediately by the CG then, late Diko Abdullahi, and the college has functioned then as a regional training center. So we've hosted several regional programs, regional training programs, organized by the World Customs Organization, organized by other international bodies like the UN, AU, ECOWAS, GIZ. So this has actually gone beyond Nigeria. We have a center that is devoted solemnly to that. And beyond the region, I remember that in 2019, the chairperson of the World Customs Organization, who was then the head of Customs Administration of Uganda, paid a visit, to Nigeria, and essentially, he came to the college to interact with the officers and directing staff after delivering a lecture on modern customs administrations and things like that. And because of the kind of this relationship, our African study tour in the college, which we do annually, we go to some African countries. Last year we were in Benin, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Kenya, and those 4 African countries. The year before we were in Ghana, Cameroon, Niger, and one other country. So through this study tour, we are also able to get contacts, networking with our colleagues. We're learning from them. They are also learning from us. And we produce research work that we believe will be useful not only for the Customs Administration of Nigeria, but also for other customs administrations in Africa.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The items seized include 14,789 bags of 50 kg rice, 727 cartons of unregistered drugs, 2,794 cartons of frozen products. The unit also impounded 28 units of smuggled used vehicles with assorted goods.
Smuggled vehicles, inclusive the rice. And that is how they were being brought into this country. And this is how we intercepted all of them. And now we brought them all to this place. And I'm happy to showcase all of them so that the smugglers will see and they should take lessons.
The acting controller said that the officers of the unit have been professional in discharging their duties, noting that officers have been cautious and hardly confrontational with smugglers, especially in volatile areas like Oyo and Idiroko axis, where some villagers refuse to obey government policies.
You can now see smugglers are always bent on their activities. But smugglers should quit smuggling. This is my advice to them. Because smuggling is dangerous. And if they don't stop smuggling, we will continue to clamor on them. And we're there.
The acting controller urged smugglers to desist from smuggling activities, saying that the act is not good for the nation's economic advancement. Customs Area Controller said that the command made progress in the excise duty collection of 10.7 billion naira in the month of June 2021, which is the highest collected in a month by the command. So that the war on anti-smuggling by the command has continued to yield positive results.
Within the period under review, the Oyo-Osho Area Command has made the revenue collection of 15 billion 871 million 894,311 naira and 83 kobo only, thereby bringing the cumulative revenue collected for the 2021 fiscal year as at 6 July 2021 to 36 billion 658 million 156,560 naira and 99 kobo only.
Items seized include 3,200 bags of rice, bales of second-hand clothing, cartons of foreign tomato paste. The command also seized kegs of PMS.
This was made possible by the newly inaugurated PMS task force. That is, they're more like anti-bunkering task force. They are to make sure that all the nuclear training where smugglers may have as a safe haven, they will be there waiting for them, and they have made a tremendous impact by this volume of seizure they made for this 1 month that we have inaugurated this task force.
He urged the public to cooperate with the service in implementation of government fiscal policies to help improve the economy and social well-being of the nation. Egeseme Idinye. The new zonal coordinator and assistant coordinator of Nigerian Customs Service, Mrs. Modupe Aremu, has challenged stakeholders on compliance with rules and regulations to boost revenue in the country. ACG Aremu gave the charge after taking over from the newly promoted acting deputy contractor of Nigerian Customs Service in Lagos. According to her, when there is compliance, there will be an increase in revenue and less intervention. She added that if exporters comply with the rules, clearing of consignment will not take more than 24 hours in the customs zone. She noted that Zone A is number 1 in the country in terms of revenue generation, alongside seizures applicable in the country. The newly appointed ACG in charge of Zone A has this to say.
In fact, I can't find words to express or describe the kind of person she is. So I'm not surprised at this elevation. In God's time, the elevation came. We'll give God all the glory. Amen. And I pray that that God that made this elevation possible will give you the grace, the power, the enablement, everything you need to function. And I know you are taking exercise to greater heights in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. That revenue that nobody deemed possible from revenue is going to come in your time. Amen. And you're all going to testify. You're going to testify about this day. Amen. Because you are going to take that department to greater heights. Amen. I want to use this opportunity to thank the management of the Nigerian Customs Service, ably led by our amiable CGC, Colonel Ibrahim Ahmed Ali, retired, for having reposing this confidence in me to bring me to Zone A. Because we know Zone A accounts for 80%, over 80% of the revenue collected in Nigerian Customs Service. And I pray it doesn't go down. With the support of all the officers and men here, I'm counting on your support. I can't do it alone. No man is an island. I'm not a magician. Madam wasn't one, but I know with the able support of everybody and all the officers and men in the zone. And for me, I'm going to preach compliance, because I know if there's compliance, there's going to be less interventions, there's going to be less alerts. So if our stakeholders would do the correct thing and make their declarations truthfully, clearance time should not take more than 24 hours in the customs zone. I'm talking about customs now. I'm not talking about exiting the port or anything, but if your declarations are true and accurate, there won't be any human interventions. There'll be less person-to-person contact, and trade would flow easily. So now we are preaching trade facilitation here. So we expect that our fasting times will be shortened with compliance on the part of our traders. And also, as we facilitate legitimate trade, also security. Security is paramount. And I'm glad that our 3 scanners are on their way. They are going to deploy it soon. And I know that will go a long way to facilitate trade and also improve security at our borders and our seaports. So I want to implore you, you worked closely with Madam, you helped us succeed. And also expect same from you. I don't expect less from you, because we can only do better. We have to do better.
Every time you hand over to your own sister. So I handed over to my sister from another mother, so I'm happy. And I know she's very capable. And I thank CG for making this possible. For making it possible for a sister to hand over to a sister. Absolute compliance. This zone is known for absolute compliance at all levels, not just at the level of the importers, no, but the officers too, because you have to be compliant to be able to instill compliance in another person. And then a lot of things had happened. Custom is looking very good.
The Apapa Customs Command has generated a total of 78.4 billion naira in the month of June 2021 this year. The Customs Area Controller attributed the huge revenue generation to hard work and compliance and commitment also by officers of the command. He said that the command generated 306 billion naira for the half year from January to June 2021. The custom boss speaks more on seizures by his command. Some seized containers were displayed in 3 terminals by the Customs Area Controller in Lagos.
And in line with the provision of extant laws, trade guidelines, and enforcement of government policy, the command was able to strengthen its anti-smuggling operation against economic sabotagers through timely, credible, intelligence-driven network, which led to the seizure of 46 containers between January to June 2021, with a duty-paid value of 27.6 billion naira. All these importations are contrary to the provision of Section 46 and 47 of Custom and Excise Management Act, Cap 45, LFN 2004. It is also worthy to note that the command has generated a total of 366 billion naira for the half year January to June 2021, which represents about 61% increment when compared to the revenue generated of 227 billion collected in the first quarter of last year, 2020. This spectacular achievement was made possible by our officers' resilience and commitment to ensuring that collection of appropriate revenue, robust stakeholders' engagement, and seamless facilitation of compliant trade. In the area of export promotion, the export statistic of the command shows that goods worth 272.3 billion has been exported through Apapa Area Command from January to June 2021. These exports include non-oil of agricultural goods such as sesame seed, ginger, and other mineral resources. The total tonnage of the said export stood at 1.6 million tons, with an FOB value of $103 million. On this note, and on behalf of the officers and men of the command, I would like to extend my profound appreciation to the Controller General of Customs and his management team for the opportunity, trust, support, and encouragement given to us in the course of discharging our responsibilities. Finally, I want to use this medium to urge our importers, exporters, custom brokers, and freight forwarders to imbibe the culture of compliance as part of their standard operating procedures, because it will reduce time and cost of doing business.
The task force in charge of Zone A has impounded 4 containers of unprocessed woods worth over 373 million naira. Also, the CG Strike Force also recovered 1.9 billion naira from importers. The coordinator of the strike force and also Deputy Controller of Customs has this to say on the seizure made by its unit.
It's an enlarged briefing comprising of both month of June, second quarter, and half yearly report. Here at Ikorodu, behind us, you will see 4 containers loaded with what? With wood, thick wood. You will agree with me that the federal government of Nigeria approved a national forest policy in July 2020, July 2009, prohibiting export of wood and allied products. This is as a result of what the government, in its wisdom, maybe largely due to environmental factors as well as social implication. We all know the effect of felling trees in our environment. First, it leads to what? Environmental degradation. Of this is 231 million for this particular container of footwear. If that amount is deployed to production of footwear in Nigeria with the abundance of harder skin and the abundance of capable hands, both young men and women, young boys and girls, it will go a long way in expanding the economy. We advise that this should be stopped.
Just before round of this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where goods worth millions of naira was intercepted by some commands operating in the western parts of the country. For me, Igiseme Etinye, thanks for watching.